everybody. Welcome back to Oprea's Open Mic. Go ahead, Sean.
The Oprea's Open Mic.
Wait.
Also called the
I was about to say you let us all down. All right, guys. We have on the person who has made Erin Oprea Basics come to life. This is Carey Magnus, but her last name's not... Magnus also is the Great.
Carey the Great.
The Great.
Yeah, I
the
think
greatest.
We should start that nickname trend.
Absolutely.
There we go, the greatest. She is, well, this jacket, these pants, this is the reason they're here.
My pants?
Oh, yeah, this is our new matte fabric coming
Yeah.
out in the spring.
And
Shiny.
Sean's feeling lonely.
Sean?
No men's line yet,
We do want to do a men's line because your dad, that was your dad's request, right?
My dad wanted it. We've measured Sean. I dress a lot of things to Sean as my future fit model.
All right, Carey. So you have been amazing for me to help me support me through this journey because I actually almost didn't do it. Had you not pushed me, I probably wouldn't have done it. I got a little scared. I was like, there's a recession coming. I can't do this. Oh my gosh, I can't do this. And she's like, well, I've already ordered the fabric. I was like, guess what? I guess I'm doing
that
it.
is how it
Always.
I already ordered the fabric,
happens,
so yeah.
They're talking about a recession. They're always talking about
And I was
recession.
like, we can't do this during a recession. And she's like, well, I ordered the fabric. I was like, we're doing it. Let's go. So here we are.
Yep.
So a big question. So I let people ask questions. How did we meet? I'm going to let you answer that one. Take it.
Like how every great relationship starts.
Yeah.
Instagram.
That is true.
Slid into the DMs.
A little drop in the DMs.
Yeah, no, I remember just like listening to you talking a story and I was like, this woman has a point of view and is not afraid to show it. And sometimes it's nice to have a bit of a harsh critic or just like trust that they're going to tell you.
Are you still okay with that statement? After working together for a year and a half?
Sometimes. I can filter it better.
I think probably you've grown closer to Erin and gotten annoyed with me. Because me and you talk on a regular basis. Like, Sean, just pay the bill.
Yeah.
But so literally she did slip into my DMs.
Yeah, and I was like, do you want to wear test some of this and like give me feedback? And that just kind of started there. And
one thing led to another.
And I mean, it wasn't right away by any means. It was just kind of like here and there,
It was so quick, what I thought.
Like once we actually started the reality of it, because like you're like, hey, like, do I want to do this? Is there,
I think I went like a year back and forth. And then we had a meeting with your dad who's really good with business. Mm-hmm. And that meeting's like, okay, I'm going to do it. And then I kept hearing recession. I was like, okay, I'm out. And you're like, well, I already ordered the fabric. I was like, okay, we're doing it. But
that's a ballsy thing to leap into a new business.
I got a little cold feet, but I am when we are designing clothes, I would say I'm pretty straightforward
Yes. And I've worked with lots of different kinds of people, big businesses, small businesses, startups, and I will say like you are the most direct and like easy, like really easy actually to work with.
Because you don't have to wonder what I'm thinking.
I don't. You always tell me.
Exactly. I love it. I don't like it. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. This is what I want to tweak. I don't want to tweak.
Yeah.
But I feel like our ideas, though, collectively come together. It's not all my ideas. It's not all your ideas. You send me ideas and I say, well, let's tweak this. And then you send this. And she's like, this isn't possible. I was like, well, maybe it is. No, it's not, Erin. Like we have this high neck one that we're really struggling with because we can't get it right, but we will get it right.
This is my favorite. So we get on the phone with our, like this person that does patterns
so I'm
for
excited.
us. And I was like, it looks weird. It's not fitting right. And I was like, we can make this better. And Erin's like, but I have things at work. And I was like, no, like, let's make this better. And I was like, here's some options. She's like having a bad day. So I know it's just time to turn off the phone with Erin. And I'm like, awesome. Like, we'll talk later. Cool.
I've been there.
And then she sends me 3 photos the next day, like right on time, about 12-hour like melting period. And I'm like, bitch, I probably can't swear in here.
Yeah, you can. I'm like, that's exactly what I was telling you.
That's what I said. I said, if you wanted to do that, you need to add a zipper. I need to add I can do that. Like, that is literally what I said would be the soul.
So,
But it was her idea.
But
it was her idea.
But like when I look at it, like I don't take offense, or I'm not like, oh my God, she's so dumb.
How do you not take offense? I need marital help.
We know. But I don't, because it's like that's the sweetest part is like you don't like. I work with a lot of contracts in different businesses where it's like they know the drill, like they know the solves, they know how like their history, business, and the apparel industry and stuff. And for you, it's like you don't understand, like, this seam does this, or, you know,
I don't
the
at
lingo
all.
of that. So, like, what I've learned is just, like, we might be saying the same thing. We just say it very different ways. And I have learned now that, like, I do one prototype and I send it to me.
Yeah, 'cause I get it, like, what the fuck?
I stopped sending you the first prototypes. Also because it saves us money, because we don't need to be paying for 2 samples. Like, notoriously, your first sample, like, usually sucks.
It does.
Yeah. Second, especially when you're starting, you have no place to start from. You're building your own patterns. Like, I call them blocks. So it's like, I think our Shine, like, legging took like 6, or like, I finally actually just got rid of them.
I think it was 9.
It could, like, we could go back. Like,
Because I kept wanting to change the V in the back. But that V in the back is a game changer in leggings. Anyone that puts the Shine or ribbed leggings, you notice your booty pops. You're welcome. We worked forever on making that V the perfect V, and the no camel toe, the waistband. And we want to hear. Like, it takes time.
Yeah.
And so
But,
when
like,
people think they're going to get it quick, that's why when I say I'm reordering the rib, it takes, because we dye dip our fabrics, it takes till March to get them now.
Yeah. Yep. Till about March.
So
But, like, we did the Shine and it took, you know, like a year to do it. And then our rib tight took like less than half of that, because it's like, oh, we just sampled in the same pattern and realized, oh, we got to adjust it.
we had to make it a little bit.
Because it has a different stretch.
Yes, as different. The Shine is more stretchy. The rib is a little more compressive. And when you're saying compressive, I'm not saying Spanx compressive. I'm just talking about a little more medium compression.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Spanx, so Carey has an amazing resume. She has worked with some companies that you guys are very aware of. Carey, tell us a little bit about where you started. And actually, what's your degree in? Your degree is in?
Well, my dad calls it, I think he calls it the Crayola or the polka dot degree. Jeez.
Like, thanks, Dad.
Tough crowd growing up. They're like so supportive. But they're
So
like,
that's what you think you're going to do.
Maybe you should go to a school that has other options. And I was like, okay, cool.
So you got your polka dot degree, and then what'd you do with it?
Polka dot degree, and like we did internships. We had fashion shows. It was super fun. I went to Minnesota. Not necessarily like known for fashion by any means, but it's a super small program, and wasn't like a break the bank kind of school. But then from there, I went to Kohl's department stores. So like that's like big department store, private label. Like all the different like tiers of.
So you learned a lot of the whole package.
The whole package, yeah, for sure. Like sourcing. I met a lot of people too. Like the industry is quite small, which I think most industries are. But it's just kind of like you do your best to kind of meet and absorb and kind of figure out what you want to do. And so what happened is I kind of was just so ready to learn, and like that sponge. I had a lot of really great people who kind of advocated for me, and I moved around in different departments. I started in knits, I moved into wovens, things like that.
So when someone says knit, see, when we used to throw woven on, I was like, what the hell is a woven? And I told
We're learning together.
I said, that's a woven. He's like, what's a woven? What's a woven? That was just the other day. So what is a woven? When you say woven, that's our running shorts.
It's how they make the fabric. So
That's right. You said like woven shorts. I'm like, we don't have any woven shorts.
He said, we don't have any woven shorts.
Because I think before, like previously, it's easy. Like it'd be like, oh, knits are stretchy and wovens aren't. But that's not the case anymore. Like, hello, spandex. Like we can get 4-way stretch wovens now. So it's just how they, like, it's the construction. So I keep hitting this.
That's all right.
I'm like
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Whack-a-mole.
Yeah. But it's how they make it. So it's like the base is the fiber. However they put it into the machine and how it gets constructed is the construction. Most basic is going to be your woven or your knit.
Got it. All right. Yeah. So you went to all different departments.
Kohl's, yeah. And then I had to cover a maternity leave for someone. And I was like, oh, active. That could be fun. Fell in love with it. And as much as...
What year was that?
Leggings and stuff like that.
2013, 14 maybe.
So it's been a while. You've been doing it for a while. 2013.
Yeah. But like what I realized was Kohl's gave me like such a cool foundation of like learning a lot of processes and how things work. But I was like, I feel like I'm getting to a point where I'm just going to start managing people. And I didn't really get to design a ton because it's such a cost.
Oh, you want boots on the ground.
Well, and it was kind of like, 25 cents. Like you can't change your seams. And I was like, I want to be able to have more flexibility. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just like in my career, I was still too young to like kind of want to
box yourself.
That. Yeah. And I actually like, I don't know, let a lot of people know this, but I took like a two-tier at least demotion to go to Lululemon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I went to Lululemon and
Okay, wait. I'm going to pause you for a second.
Yeah.
So Lululemon, one of my favorite pair of legging set that I have from Lululemon, I had showed her. I was like, I want to make something similar to this, but these are the things I would tweak. And she's like, oh, me and another girl designed that. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah,
cool.
it was strange. Like Erin and I feel like in our like history of like how we've interacted, we've had so many like weird random coincidences kind of like that. But yeah, so I'm looking at these ties. I'm like, well, I have them. And I also vividly remember sitting with a girl. And like at one point we designed like head to toe outfits. So it's like, I'd like do the tank top and the bottom. And then we switched to categories. So it's like, I just did the bottom and someone else did the top or vice versa. And so she was doing the bottom, I was doing the top, and we had to kind of come together with an idea. But I was like, yeah, I know that type very well.
So what would you say your job was at Lulu in general?
Design. Like, that was such a cool company because it's design-led and very performance-based, so like solution-orientated. So that was kind of first and foremost, and like the end use. So it's kind of like you always knew why you were designing something. And like, there's so many talented people out there in design where they can just be like, oh, this is trending, this is beautiful. And I'm like, that's awesome. But I get like that, like, I can't be creative. Like, I need a little bit of a box. Like, I need a problem to solve for, you know?
I want to be able to work I want to have creativity, but within this parameter.
Yeah,
as
so
opposed
it's like,
to
I want to figure out what the problem is. And we would have like design meetings, which were really fun because you like talk to people like, whether they're running marathon, you know, like a person just running like, you know, a mile or two is going to have a different need than a person who is like a marathon runner.
Yeah.
So that's the difference with athletic wear is it actually has to have a purpose where fashion wear is really just to look good.
Oh my God, there's like no purpose.
It's not necessarily always comfortable. It's about looking good, but athletic wear has to be wicking and the right stretch, and it needs to fit all different types of bodies, and it's actually more challenging.
So you never really got into
like
Lady Gaga meat suit.
Did not.
You didn't do meat suits?
Did not do meat suits. I saw a cockroach suit the other day too.
Oh, yeah. Bring it in, the Erin Oprea basics. Let's go.
Never.
Yeah.
All right. So that's an amazing.
Yeah. So Lululemon, just so I could like really be super creative. And my gosh.
You were there for years, right?
Like not as long. Like I wanted to kind of come back.
Because you were in Canada. Oh, yeah. That's right. You had to go to Canada.
So, so being in Vancouver, like absolutely love the city and the people I met. Like, that experience, you know, I wouldn't change it for the world. But yeah, so when I left, I was like, I want to come back to the U.S. And then it was right around COVID too, the shutdowns and everything. So I was like, thank goodness I didn't get stuck.
Right?
Yeah. And so what I did, so when I started, I was worried about moving back to the U.S. I wanted to kind of be by my sister who was starting a family, my parents too, like just wanting to be a little bit closer for a little bit. I was worried. I was like, oh, there's not a lot of like retails in that area from like you kind of have to, as a designer, you have to go to like corporate offices. They're usually on coasts. There's not a lot like
it's because that's where fabrics come in. Is that why?
You know, probably historically, but like Chicago used to be a huge place for retail.
Chicago is where she lives now.
Yes, I live in Chicago. But yeah, so when I was, as I was planning to move back, I actually got my ACE certification so I could do personal training and like group fitness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like Strong First and like kettlebell, like all that kind of stuff. I loved it, but I realized like I could solve problems better because I was watching them happen at the gym. So like my favorite story to tell is actually like this girl was like going to a squat rack and doing a squat, and she kept like pulling up her shirt, like just kind of like flicking it up. I'm like, that's so annoying. I'm like, you are wasting energy. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
I can fix that.
Yeah. And I'm like, and then I like, as I'm sitting there watching, I was like, okay, you inherently do things that are like a distraction or a problem. You just it might not be that big of a deal. And so I asked her, I was like, hey, like, why do you keep moving your shirt? And she's like, she knew I was a designer, so it's like not weird to ask. Like, hey, I was looking at your butt. But yeah, she's like, oh, it just gets caught on my hips. Like when I go down, and the last thing I want to do is like have a heavy weight and be caught, like my clothes getting caught or like kind of bunching up in the hip crease. And I was like, okay, well then why don't you get a shorter shirt? She's like, well, I don't want to like really show off my midriff. And I was like, but you have like a great butt. She's like, oh, I don't mind to show that off. It's just like, how do I do that?
Somewhere in between.
And I was like, well, why don't we curve the back of your shirt up? So we had like more of a higher intensity design capsule, and I still have one of the samples. Loved it. Still love it. But it has a lower front and a higher back. So it like curves up
That's kind of. I bet that makes that booty pop.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. I wear it all the time.
Maybe we need to make one.
Yeah,
That's
I mean
cool.
I think they made it like for one season. It was gone. Like maybe it was lost on people, but like, I love it.
You just got to get the squat.
So you basically have gone into doing a
niche.
bunch of 1099 work, contract
so
work.
it's kind of like I started to do that too, as like supplemental. Like, okay, if I'm going to move back to the U.S. and I can't kind of get my stuff together, so I started more like contracting and like freelance. It's probably an easy way. Or
you've worked with like
understand.
Ralph Lauren. You've worked with Spanx.
Had a lot of
you've kind of done a lot of things.
And I don't know if it's just like I've gotten lucky. I also like met a ton of great people.
You're talented. You're a good person, and when you meet good people.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
person,
I'd like,
have you been associated with any other really unique and wonderful companies because Erin Oprea Basics is on your resume now?
All the time.
All the time. That doesn't sound like you're telling me that.
But what is fun is like random people, like my sister's friend. She's like, "Oh my god, I just saw you on Erin's Instagram." I'm like, oh, what was I doing?
You know what? So
now I'm just like used to it. I remember when my dad met you, and he's like, "She does that all day." I'm like, "Yeah, but like that, like it's not. It's her job. Like she's used to it."
All right. So here's a question. How much do you? Okay. No, I'm going to ask it directly.
I can't wait.
How do designers get paid? Is it one-time fee, or do designers make commissions? So let's just go over how we do it.
Yeah, so we do deliver it a little differently, and like literally every one of my contracts, because I work for multiple people at one time usually, is all different based on like what they need. And I'll like do a project quote for people. It could be an hourly rate. It could be like your designs cost this, your tech pack costs this. We do like as a startup, it's like you want to make sure things sell and you actually get products. So it's like the investment up front. Like my dad calls it sweat equity, I think.
Yeah, you had the option to buy in on that, but you chose to just do percentage.
Yes, but I am like a millennial, and we thrive on credit card debt.
Instant gratification, too.
Yeah.
I'm a millennial, too. I'm like a geriatric millennial.
So I
think I'm in the middle.
Was it 18% you get?
Yeah, like a certain percentage of sales. So like
you get
what's so fair about that, too, though, is like, I mean, if you look at the year over, it's like getting to a place where it's like you're growing your business, you're making more inventory. It's like there'll be a certain point where it's like, hey, that's a full year time salary when you think about it, you know? And so like most people are salaried employees. So it's like you could have a dud of a design that they buy and brings in like whatever, and you could have a core product and you're like, wow, that is still like, you know, things I have at Lululemon, I'm like, that's still on their wall all day, every day. So it's really hard when I'm working with new people to be like, how do you quantify the create? You know, and I think a lot of creative places, like graphic designers.
You know your worth, and I could help create something that's on your wall for the next decade.
That's with artists. That's with
how do you get your bag, girl?
I know. Yeah.
But there's a lot of companies, like say you work with Lulu, that's a salary employee.
Yeah. Bigger companies. But sometimes those big companies don't necessarily have like the budget to like say like sometimes they can get around, like they can get the head count because maybe it's not built into their budget in a specific way, but they're like, hey, we need an extra support because this person's going on maternity leave.
So you do like a 1099.
That's a way that I find a ton of jobs actually is just through like agencies.
You go to OBGYN offices and you say,
right.
Do you have any clients that are in fashion? What's your job? What's your job? When's your kid going?
Yeah.
I need one in November. That's good.
Yeah.
What company?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's hard too because like you get into a new company and they're like, hey, like a month or 2 month contract. And like that, okay, maybe, but
that'd be tough to rock out in 2 months.
Yeah, it's like I'm just getting used to the product and things. But yeah, a lot of times they'll be like 3 months and then they might grow. Yeah. But
can you believe that we launched this 1 year ago?
It is crazy.
1 year ago. This company has done way more than I ever projected. Would you say the same thing?
100%.
Because this is.
You didn't think we were worth it?
Not that. I knew zero about Erin's, her people.
Yeah, her mojo.
Like.
You guys,
everybody out there, and it's like
amazing.
We're continuously like, and yes, we hear you about sizes and tops and things like that. But it's like you don't know what people want, and it's so different. Like understanding who your customer is and how they shop or how they convert to purchases.
But so when you guys say, well, why don't you order more?
You gotta buy. You want tops? Buy the bottoms. That's what you've got right now. If you're screaming, make more tops, then buy the bottoms, girl.
This is our bottom sniffer.
Now, that's not...
Okay, so when we
we can skip this. Oh, my God.
So I wouldn't call it a bottom sniffer. I call it a crotch sniffer.
Oh, no, we can skip this.
So Sean handles all the returns that come in, and he inspects if someone... We have a 2-week return policy, and they can't be worn.
Don't tell me things.
They can be tried on, and you can return them in new condition, but they can't be worn, right? And we will happily take them back. Sean smells every crotch of every legging that comes back.
Because I don't trust any of you, and all of you are very honest.
I can't stop thinking about a return coming in, and
so
Sean
I make sure. Listen, if we're going to ship this back out, right? I'm going to make sure that everybody person
appreciates it.
It has a good legging, was returned nicely, and was treated with respect. And I'm not going to throw it in my washer. That's no.
So everything that if it gets returned and we sell it again, it is in perfect condition. Everything that goes back out, so that we have very good.
You're our second form of quality assurance.
We have very good quality control.
Factory is the first one, and if it ever comes back into our possession, it's Sean's nose.
There's also a visual inspection. Don't cut the tag off, and there's a few other items. Yeah. And then there's a quick sniff. It's a very quick sniff.
He buries his whole face. Don't lie. So when we were talking about percentage. So when we were talking about 18%, the 18%, so when we get a group of, say we get 800 leggings in, and whatever the retail of those is going to sell for, if they're $82 a pair, you times that times 800, and that is the percentage that you get. So people might think that it's of what it costs to make. No, it's of the actual sale price.
Yep.
And we don't do sales because I have absolutely made my line as affordable as I possibly can. And so I'm going to stay true to that, and that's what I will do.
Also, I'm in charge of the budget, and I said no sales,
No.
and you finally listened.
Yeah, that's it.
Appreciate that.
Well, I think it's kind of like a slippery slope, too. It's kind of like, I feel like you lose a little bit of customer trust when it's all of a sudden, I'm like, wait, you are selling like 50% off? Like, why would I ever want to buy it full price if I know that if I wait, like, yeah, you might lose out on a product if it sells out.
Man, if I sold it 50%, I'd be negative. That'd be bad.
Yeah, we have some.
But there's people that do that.
Yeah, well, and we're a small
me.
business. So, like, the other thing, too, that always comes into play that people forget is, like, we might have things that, like, can help. Like, we buy things different percentage, right? So it's like, our bras are really expensive to make.
Very.
So it's like where you have a different, like, markup on that, it's kind of like other things can help even it out too.
Yeah. So this is what I've learned in this company, which is really cool because there's this common complaint from everybody, right? I go buy a pair of jeans, doesn't matter the item, right? And they're $50. And then I go buy a pair of jeans for my like middle schooler, and they're still $50. And you're like, there's less fabric. And it doesn't matter. It's the cut, right? It's the stitch. It's the number of stitches or it's the number of cuts.
Well, it's everything.
It's everything.
It's like the process of it. Yeah. So it costs us the exact, like maybe by minus like 5 cents, like to make a 7/8 and the long, you know, because it's all of the same, like cut, make time. It's just that
you have to make the same cuts. You have to make the same stitches.
2 inches of fabric. And at the end of the day, like
isn't going to make that much difference.
No.
All right. Here's a question. How does one go about finding a designer to work and create clothing? How do you go about this process? So the process is actually...
There isn't one.
The process of designing is actually very long. It goes from basically a stencil, like it stenciled it out, or what would you call that? Not
a sketch, maybe?
Well, where it starts, I think, which is amazing from you, is that you get hyped up. Yeah, you get hyped up on something like, oh my God, I would love to wear something kind of like edgy and I wanted to show this or I wanted to do that and I really wanted to be like this.
And she might look at me like I'm dumb.
And then you like kind of puke these ideas at Carey.
And
then Carey the Great goes, I got you.
She draws it out.
Or I'll be like, nope. Okay, I'll do that.
So there we go. But you know, we do have this new mesh pair of leggings.
Yes.
Out. Yeah. They have these coming out right now. Actually just launched. And the mesh leggings you said you would never wear, but they're they're unbelievably cute. And she's like,
They
she's
are.
pretty conservative.
Yeah.
And she's like, no. And you put them on.
Oh,
and
they are great. I just like don't have the confidence to wear
and then you put them on and you sent me a video. And I was like, holy shit, you look so good.
So every time you like go into production, they'll send you like a pre-production sample and then a top of production sample. So I like will look at them to make sure they did everything we wanted. And so I had to put a pair on because I'll usually like try the medium to just make sure like, hey, these feel consistent. So I put them on and I had the Sherpa on actually. It was like a day. And I think like 4 hours later, I looked down and I'm just like still sitting at my desk wearing them. I'm like,
They're
I'm by
pretty
myself.
awesome.
Yeah, wearing them. So no, they're great. My friend Tracy literally
And so,
is wearing
for
them
those
tomorrow.
who don't know what we're talking about, explain the leggings a little bit because they're very unique. They're
So
very
they're like
edgy.
80s.
You might not have noticed that they've launched yet, and you need to go to Shop EO Basics.
But think of Flashdance or the
Shop EO
80s,
Basics.
Dirty Dancing. It is mesh all the way up except for where you would see a leotard.
Yeah, it's like dance inspired, I would say.
Yeah, very much
But like
so.
that's when we had the conversation, and I think it like clicked too. Of you have to build like a core foundation, so it's like that investment can then support the one offs. Because like for us to make that tight and the mesh tight, it's the same amount of development like costs and time. But the return on core is going to be continuous over time. So it's like if we probably started out with the mesh tights, I don't think we'd be sitting here.
No, we wouldn't be.
You know, so it's kind of like we can now have a little bit more fun because we are learning about, you know, the people that are shopping with us.
Yeah.
Or we'll be like, okay, well, we're going to do these. And Erin will be like, let's do 1 million of them. And I'll be like, okay, let's do 5.
Yeah, we're getting closer, and some people might be a little upset. We've sold out of some items, and we get low.
We
on
are
stock in
selling
some.
actually
Yeah,
really
we're
quick now. So
selling
you
really
guys
good.
don't. That's why I have the texting
Yeah.
group. Is anyone in the texting group gets early access to shop? You get 1 hour early. So if you ever want to make sure you get things like this Sherpa that's coming out the end of November, we'll have pre-sales.
This is like that's I think it's so awesome. But this is one where I feel like we've gone back and forth right up until the time of like there's no turning back of like how many are we gonna do?
So,
because I was like, I don't want to be sitting on these in like February.
Well, no, because they take up so much space.
Yes.
That's what you have to think of space. We only have so much space. Oh, wait.
And if you want to get in on the texting, okay, listen, you need to text
Shameless
Erin
plug.
O to this phone number, 844-638-0421. All right? Text Erin O to that number, and you're going to get earlier access to any of the new launching products before anyone else. These people designed and created.
Yeah, you
and
guys do
can
not
get
want to
that.
miss the
Yes, you do not
Sherpa.
want
It's
to
the best.
And because we don't have sales, I feel like you're not bombarding, like, because I'm on the text chain too, just as a reminder of like, oh, I should make that website switch. But like, as we do the text stuff, I'm like, oh, this isn't super annoying. Because I know my mom's like, I hate the text message sales stuff.
We
And I was like,
only
no, I
do
was like,
it
we just
on
do it with
launch.
launches.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not sending you a text every. Well,
Yeah.
if we're launching
Sometimes.
something every week,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
one text.
You're not
going to
get random shower pics of me trying to flex and you know
Purposefully.
get
Oh
get
my
some
God.
feedback on like pec muscles.
so we didn't
Wait,
answer.
dude, I was like, I don't think we answered the
Okay,
question.
how do they go
Yeah.
about finding a designer to actually start from the ground up like you?
Yeah. So I've found that there's more companies right now that are kind of, we call it full turnkey, where they have people, and a lot of times it's like fitness influencers. They come, they're like, I want to do this. I want my own apparel. And so you can buy wholesale. So that'd be like going to a website and buying product that's already made and then reselling it. And like,
You can put your logo in
yeah,
if you
totally.
want to.
And
or
that's what
whatever.
it's made for. It's like it takes that out of it, but you don't get the creative design. And then these other companies, yeah, you can work with them. And then I think what I'm doing, I don't know how you would find me, to be honest. I think you'd have to just like search designer.
You'd have to know
and-
people who know people and get referrals.
Yeah,
talk,
or just
talk.
like, and then,
It's amazing that you know these people.
and
Yeah.
then
Like,
sometimes
right
what
away
happens
you
for
had our
me
guy
is
in
like,
Houston.
I'll get
Talk
people.
about how you find someone like Carey.
Yeah, and I'll get people that like, and a lot of like a couple of your followers have reached out to me and they're like, hey, like, could you do this, or do you know how to do this?
That's
And
cool.
a lot of times I'm like, yes, but like I can't. I have like a full plate right now.
You
so
are
it's
busy.
like, yeah, I don't sleep a lot.
That's overrated.
And I teach Pilates too. So like that's
Lord.
kind of like my social outlet, like to talk in front of people.
Because the rest of the time you're just by yourself or on FaceTime
Yeah.
with me. We're on
Or in
FaceTime
mesh
a lot.
tights by myself.
Looking sweet.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so it is hard.
But I
So
know a lot of people that are also looking for work. So a lot of times I'll just be like, oh, let me introduce you to so-and-so, or here's 2 companies that I've worked with that could get you from start to finish. Because a
So
lot of people
the
don't know.
answer is you guys DM Carey.
Oh, great.
Literally,
DM,
yeah.
what's your Instagram?
CMag003.
All right, if you DM her,
Levi.
she can help you out with finding
Levi, help.
somebody.
Yeah.
All right, quick question. How do you source fabrics? Like we dye dip our fabrics to make them like this, our blacks. We dye dip everything to get it the exact. Do you know how many millions of shades of black there is? Like we just dye dip to match our bedroom, all that
The
kind of
dark
stuff.
forest is your bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I remember I told you, I think the weirdest thing I've sent out one time was like a half of a flip flop. I was like, can we match this? But you have to establish a color standard. So that's relating to color. But in terms of sourcing things, there's so many ways of doing it. And what's kind of cool now is there's a lot of wholesalers in the US now. So like you can get a lot of fabric that's imported. And I mean, cotton, there's some cotton production still, like, and I don't know a ton. Like my expertise is in the apparel, and like what I've picked up is kind of like the stuff I've learned along the way. But cotton, like USA based, but most everything, especially performance, is going to be overseas fibers and knit processes, and then they ship the raw materials here to the US. So like when like our fabric, I order it from a place overseas, it comes to the US, we make in the US. So
our team for Erin Oprea Basics, people think it's very big. It is a team of us three and Jennifer.
Yeah. And Jennifer's part-time.
Jennifer, she answers a lot of emails.
Yeah.
So Carey does all the designing, sourcing, you name it, all that.
which is why we try to keep the prices low, because I'm trying to like.
I think we surprised you at the very beginning that we were doing all the shipping.
Yeah, I was like, okay, we'll see how customer like the
Customer
I'm glad you have
service.
Jennifer on customer service, because like if it was me, it would be so bad. I'd either be like, here's free tights, or I'd be like, I don't care.
She's like, I just designed. That's not my problem.
I don't know what to tell
I'd
you.
be saying no to everybody. I ain't gonna lie.
I feel like that's hard. Like not everybody's gonna be happy, but
Jennifer's been great.
If she doesn't get back to you right away,
She
give
will
her a
always
day.
get
She's
back to you.
part-time. She will, yes, she'll get back to you.
So
She'll get back
Sean
to you.
and I, Sean prints the tickets now that the shipping is here at the house because we have the extra garage. I do most of the packing. So if it's a mistake, because I occasionally am dumb and I mix a bra for tights, just know
We've
we
all
will
done
fix
it's
it,
like
yeah.
how you spell.
Your spelling is.
My spelling is amazing. Everyone on Instagram knows that. Sean prints the tickets. He also is the back end for making sure our bills are paid, emails, all the business of that is done. So it's a really small business. Like it is literally us. We have a lot of stuff made in Houston. We have a great pattern guy out there that's really
Shout
helped
out
us
to
out.
Victor Renovato.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been awesome for us.
Yeah, it's
but
fun to work with other people who are starting up their businesses too.
It is fun.
Yeah.
So this has been a passion project. I remember, so how I got started in this, actually Carrie Underwood, she had her, oh my gosh, I just dropped the ball on what the name of it. Kalia. So she started Kalia when we were training, and I was like, oh my gosh, can I just sit on a meeting? That's
This
all
is
I
so
Yeah,
fun.
All I wanna
You guys
do-
were designing kind of.
Yeah, we talk about it in
all the-
sessions, but I was like, all I want to do is design clothes, like workout clothes. This would be so cool. Can I just sit in there and listen? And you know, it's like one day I'll have a clothing line, but I really never thought it would happen. Like it was one of those things that it's like a fantasy, but it's not going to happen because I'm like this little peon thing. And I'm like, but you never know, right? You know, it just stays in there. And then we met and I was like, gosh, I think the world has a plan for me. Like, do I just dive on in? Was I nervous? Yes, because we were going through a recession. I was like, well,
Have
time
you been
to either.
nervous since? Yes.
I mean,
Good
how
Lord,
can you
yeah,
not
it's
be?
not all
Because you
success.
have the amount of money you have to sink in to make something like this go.
Yeah, we
is a
just stopped
lot.
paying Carey for a while. It was-
Because it takes a lot of money to get this ship sailing, and
Yeah.
I have to say I'm having the best time with it. I've had so much fun with designing. You've made it so fun for me.
You've made it easy.
You've made it easy.
You have been
Good.
wonderful.
I like that is my goal. I feel like with everybody, I'd like
Except
embark
for some
on
of the
it.
wiring instructions.
I have copy and pasted them for you now. I made him a cheat sheet.
Okay, and it was super sweet, okay? Except,
I
like,
hear about
I'm
this.
working on a computer and it cheat sheets on my phone, and so then I just now have to copy and then email and then copy.
We
then
can make it a
paste
Google Doc.
And then,
didn't know we weren't working
the company
on
we were
that.
working for straight out of nowhere says, "Yeah, we're not going to use that account anymore," and then
Yeah,
they just did
that's
it all over again with a different.
You know what I hear?
When I saw the next wire come through, I was like, let me write this down. Sean's going to have like This is going to be the
Conniption,
end.
yes.
This will be the end.
You want to know who the crybaby is of the group? Sean.
Well, listen, okay.
Oh,
If you
yeah,
want,
right.
all right,
Work a
no.
little bit.
Here is my problem. Okay, if you want my money, you need to make it as simple as possible to get it. And if you have a weird country and a weird zip code and it's not normal for me, then make it copy paste so none of us screw it up and you
If
get your
you
money.
want
And you get your
products,
money.
You have to pay. That's what they're probably
Stop
saying.
complaining.
Yeah.
But no, Carey, I just honestly want to thank you for one, pushing me because you
Yeah.
made it not an
Yeah, for
option
sure.
because you ordered the fabric. So there's that.
I never knew that was.
No, I meant to say this. Like, yes, without a doubt. But also, the recession that you were worried about was kind of the reason the fabric was already in the United States. Like,
Yeah.
it lined up to all kind
well,
of
like
make it
a lot of
nice.
places, were their projections for like what people are going to buy. So you had, and we tried out 3 fabrics, I think, too. I think it was 3. Yeah, 3 fabrics before we like landed on this one.
The shine
So-
will always be my favorite. The
Yeah.
shine is, which if you want like something that makes you look sexy, that booty pop, and just absolutely stellar, everybody has to have the shine. The rib are like, so the shine is, so when as people ask, does it fit like Spanx? No, Spanx is like super tight. These are like a comfortable all day wear. You feel like you have nothing on. Second skin.
Yeah,
The rib,
you wear them to the gym, you wear them to work, you wear them to
They're
bed.
squat proof.
They're like PJs.
They
They're
actually you
just
can wear this to bed.
Yeah.
The ribbed is more compression. I'd say a medium compression. It is buttery, silky smooth. If you haven't tried those, you will fall in love. And then we've got the matte
Yeah.
fabric and the
These
dog hair
ones.
wipes right off.
This is why I'm wearing them because I like to feel.
Wait, we haven't
melted.
launched those yet.
No, they
No.
launch in the spring, and then we'll have
So
a cool
we
bra.
developed this fabric. Like this is custom to us.
Oh, that's
Nobody else has our matte
No,
fabric,
so
which
this
is so
like
cool.
Too, like I don't know.
Do you have a favorite shine rib matte?
Oh, this for sure.
Mattes are
yeah.
But I think what's cool is they all have their different reason for being. It's just like the hard part is to like educate towards that when like new customers are coming on the site of like trying to like have them understand like what to expect. Because sometimes a person might be like, oh my God, I bought the wrong size. Like they're toe tight. And it's like, well, that's the purpose of this fabric is to like hold you in and support you. So
Educate.
Mhm.
But we have lots of cool stuff. We have a whole Terry line coming in the spring. Might be later spring
Jennifer
because
just paid for it.
thank you, Jennifer.
Did she?
You didn't even
She
know.
sure did.
There we
We
Get on
go.
must have been out of the office.
Way to not run the budget, buddy.
I have other things to
Thank
do.
goodness for Jennifer.
Nobody
Yeah.
else is doing laundry. Jennifer didn't get hired for laundry.
No.
Well, she might be next. Hey, but
Sherpa.
Sherpa is dropping the end of the month.
Yes. And the mesh.
And
And
the
there's
mesh-
a bra with that.
Oh yeah, it's a really cute bra that's coming out. So we just
Oh,
have
nice bra.
tons of stuff coming. So you guys stay
Yeah.
tuned. Actually, put in the comments. Make sure you guys subscribe. Follow us. Follow us, please.
Yeah, put in the
Leave
comments.
a
your
review.
desires, like right, like kind of like the Erin
Yeah.
Oprea way of figuring out what to design.
Every time
It's
she
like,
posts, I'm like, stop telling people everything.
Put your wish list in the comments. Actually, we do have more scallop shorts coming in different colors, which is
Yes.
going to be exciting. That's going to
Oh, that's
come in the
fun.
spring, and then we're going to have another pair.
I know
I
nothing.
call them running shorts. She calls them woven shorts. We're going to have another pair of running
I call
shorts
them
coming
breezy
out.
playtime shorts because that's how we sell them on the website.
So we all have different names.
yeah.
But hey, this was awesome, Carey.
Thank
Thank
you
you for
guys for
taking
having
the
me.
night to come in. Her
Girl,
first
you're
the best.
podcast ever.
First one in the
And
books.
you are the best. And you guys, thank you for being customers and shopping with
Yeah.
us. Like, literally, you have made my dreams come true. We couldn't do it without you guys.
No, we
And so,
couldn't.
any feedback you guys have, I'm an open book. I like to hear everything,
Yeah.
and I send it all to her.
Yeah. Can't wait.
But bye, guys. Have a wonderful day, night, whatever it might be.